You're listening to TRAXXfm's podcast. If you've enjoyed our content, more podcasts are available on the RTM Click app and website. Let us know what you think. Please email us at traxxfm.rtm@gmail.com. Like and follow us on social media at TRAXXfm Official.
Good morning, everybody. 11:15 in the second hour of Trax Momentum. It's Spectrum, and I'm your host, Anil, on the mic. And today we have a special treat for you because we're going to dive into the vibrant world of digital art with the incredibly talented person. He's the extraordinary talented guest that we have on the phone lines in today's edition of Spectrum with me, Anil, on the mic. And on our show today, the topic of discussion is a look into digital art. Areesh, good morning and welcome to Spectrum.
Thank you so much for the opportunity.
You're welcome. How are you today, Areesh?
I'm good.
Okay,
This
and
is from Deepavali.
yes, I got some word that you still haven't got out of the Deepavali vibe that caught you on Sunday, apparently.
Yes.
So tell me how was your Deepavali this year?
So we had some guests coming over, families, friends coming over to the house. So I mean, it's going to be the same for the entire week.
Okay. Now, in retrospect, very quickly talking about Deepavali, we all have moments in our childhood where we would love just to, rewind the time machine and go back to that one moment where we loved Deepavali the most. What is it for you? When was the moment you just enjoyed Deepavali? How old were you? Share some experience about that.
I've actually, especially the cookies part, when my mom actually do cookies, murko, this kind of snacks. So. Stealing those when she's cooking, that's something thrilling.
I
so
know.
that actually I enjoy doing until right now. So
Right.
So that is,
I know. That's something that happens in every household, right? Our mums will be, frying up the murukus and they'll toss them into the pan, and the next thing you see, hey, I just fried 10 murukus. Where are all of them? All missing now.
That's right.
Okay. All right. Now, let's jump into our topic of discussion. First of all, Areesh, you are featured on this show because of your expertise and also some of the great work that you've done. So to start off, perhaps you can provide some context for our listeners with a very brief introduction of yourself. Who is Areesh in your own words? And tell us how you got involved in digital art.
Okay. So first of all, my name is Areesh. I'm from Sri Kembangan, and I've my background is mainly on computer technical. So I did my diploma in electronic engineering, expertise in computer. But I have a thing for art since I'm young. So since I'm 3-4 years old, I started drawing. I started illustrating a lot of things. So that is the reason. I have always had passion for art since young, right? So when I completed my my higher studies in computer, electronic engineering, and then actually I figured, I saw some of my colleagues who's actually into multimedia design and graphic design. They be using this software called Adobe Photoshop, Illustrator, this kind of thing. So that's where actually intrigued me more into digital art, right? So they use these kind of applications to manipulate a photo or to actually reimagine stuff, for example, removing the background and things like that. So I was pretty much interested on how to use these kind of tools because I'm into art, right? So I really love to draw and things like that. So I actually take up the opportunity, to learn more about the tools by just YouTubing it, just using YouTube as a platform to just learn how to actually use these kind of tools. And by learning these tools and, expanding my creative mindset, so that's where actually I come up with a lot of, arts and these kind of things. So
okay.
Yeah.
Very inspirational.
Yes. For the past about 4 years, I've actually figured out, a gap. I feel a gap in this industry. So a lot of people actually are missing a lot of moments with their loved ones. Maybe because they have actually lost their loved ones recently and they could not actually take a family portrait and things like that. So how I'm filling in the gap is I'm trying to create a realistic family portraits, of their loved ones, of their lost ones. Together in one single portrait. So I'm combining straight images or straight photos into one family portrait. So a lot of them actually is not getting a chance to do that, even though whether they have enough time with their loved ones, or sometimes they do not have a chance to actually take a picture. So what I'm doing here is trying to create some memories for them.
So that's your niche, yeah? That's your niche. That's the niche that you are specializing in. We'll talk a little bit about that as we dive deeper into the conversation. Now, I want to pick on a little bit of a word that you mentioned, or rather it's a term or it's a form of art, digital art. Now, to the common man, to the layman, art is art. You know, they might not understand the distinction between digital art and also traditional art. So,
Okay.
for the benefit of them, and also me, I'm pretty naive on this, Areesh, enlighten us, and I want you to give us a perspective. How is digital art simply different from traditional art?
Okay, so digital art is a modern form of an expression, an artistic perspective or artistic expression that relies mainly on digital tools. That's why it's digital arts, right? And so using these digital tools, so, right, it totally differs from traditional art, okay, in its medium, because digital art, we are using computers and software to produce a visual art rather than physical materials like paint, acrylic, color pencil, watercolor, these kind of physical things to create art. All right, so there's a lot of things in digital art. There's pros and cons, but digital art has actually helped a lot of artists out there to expand their creativity and how they can actually deliver a new thing to the market. Because traditional arts, right, when we're actually working with physical materials like acrylic on a canvas, on a blank canvas, if anything goes wrong in the middle of a 3 hours, 4 hours painting, you can't do anything about it. You won't be able to actually wipe it off. You can actually use it, but there are still stains and marks, right?
Yeah.
But with digital art, we can actually use the power of a computer or the digital tools.
And you have a function called Control Z on your keyboard for you to undo.
That's right. I mean,
Yes.
you can undo stuff, right?
Yeah.
So it's not going to actually, ruin the entire time of the artist actually spending a lot of hours thinking and creating that art. In the middle of it, something just spill over and then it's going to actually make a mess, right? So I mean, like, digital art is actually helpful for a lot of artists in that way, and pretty much it's the same technique, right? It's the same technique, just that we'll be using digital tools. So mainly, I mean, nowadays, in the modern days, right now, you can use computer to use these kind of tools, or we have iPad or pen tablets, these kind of tools to actually draw and to actually create this kind of art.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very good. Very good explanation there. And I'm sure that's very, very concise and very detailed as well. Now, I am going to take a couple of spatulas, a knife, and I'm going to try to open your head up right now, Areesh. Excuse me, okay? It's not going to be painful, okay? Because we want to open Areesh's head up and go deep into his brains and try to understand his creative process, okay? Now, from the point of ideation to completion of your entire artwork, walk us through your creative process. Do you have any superstitions? Is Areesh a digital artist who just shuts himself in a dark room, a soundproof room, and then works? Or does he take momentarily breaks just to listen to music? Or does he have a favorite, tea, a cup of tea? Or what is it? Talk us through that process, Areesh.
All right. So when you mention about so there's few things, right? So when you mention what time do I get creative, or what I actually eat to get creative, it's nothing like that. It's nothing like that. So each and everyone is different, right? I mean, like, everyone have their own thing to actually get their focus mode on.
Absolutely, yeah.
So for myself, mainly my creative process as a digital artist begins with brainstorming ideas and sketching through rough concepts. But once that is done, I mean, like, of course, to get these kind of creative ideas, brainstorming ideas, I usually do this kind of things in the night. I'm a night person, so I do this kind of things in the night. And
so Areesh, a night owl, huh?
Kind of, because my work is such.
Okay, all right.
So I had to actually communicate with some people from the other region of the world. So they wake on that hour, so I need to actually deliver my work during that hour. So sometimes actually I work at night, but I really would love to actually work at night, because it's very calm. Yeah, you mentioned, a dark room, with a computer on, and actually I just love that vibe. But of course, I also work in the morning as well. But having a cup of coffee, and apart from working in that environment, how actually you brainstorm and create this kind of art. All right. So first of all, you have to be very open, and sky is the limit. I mean, like sky can in art, sky can be any colors, right? Sky can be red, sky be green. It's just about your creative thought, the way how actually you look at things, right? So I take a lot of pictures. I will glance through my pictures and I will see how I can actually manipulate things. For example, just imagine if Cal's city is drowned in the sea. It's something like that. The sky is full of sea. So that all this is an imagination, and trying to get this imagination into a picture that is where I'm actually looking at. Which is possible, which is not possible. All this we will actually get to know about that when I actually do the art.
So Areesh, does music help you in your?
Of course. I love classical music. I love Indian classical music, and I would love to actually listen to some of deep house music, this kind of music.
So in your last artwork that you were working on, what was the song that you were listening to?
It's an Indian song by S.P. Bala. Actually.
Oh, okay. Which song? I'm a big fan of S.P. Bala.
Actually, let me just. I'm not that good of a Indian lyricist because
Okay, so S.P. Bala actually helps you. I mean, so you listen to S.P. Bala. Okay, so that speaks a bit about you. That's nice. That's nice. Okay, great, Areesh. You gave us a very good understanding of the difference between digital art and also traditional art, and then you walked us through, your creative process right from the point of ideation to completion. Now, I'm sure a lot of our listeners would be interested in, including me as well. What are the challenges and how you see the industry going, especially with the emergence of artificial intelligence? We'll get all of these questions answered after a quick break. So hang in right there. And for those of you just tuned in, I'm now speaking to Areesh Morgan, a digital artist, and we're speaking about taking a look into digital art. We'll be right back. Stay tuned.
Every Tuesday,
we have this segment, Spectrum.
That's how esports really...
Yes, we want people to be exposed to what the current labor market situation is.
I will talk about things that you normally don't hear strangers talk about.
Catch Spectrum on TRAXXfm, looking into matters relating to youth, arts, and culture. Stay tuned.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome back to Spectrum on Tracks Momentum. I'm Anil on the mic, and Anil on the mic is not alone on the show today. He's got a very extraordinarily creative and talented guest on the phone lines. He is none other than Areesh Morgan. He's a digital artist, and today with Areesh, I'm taking a look into digital art. Areesh, welcome back to the discussion.
Hello, hi.
All right, great. Areesh, hello, hi. That, by the way, is Double D's line, one of our DJs here. Okay. So, Areesh, before the break, you gave us an understanding between digital art and traditional art. You walked us through your creative process. Now let's talk about the challenges, the set of challenges that comes along, doing this. We don't know because we've not done what you're doing. So tell us about some of the challenges that you face and how you overcame them.
Okay, so the main challenge, right? I mean, there's two things. So when I get a project, so let's talk about the main challenge in digital art, which is mastering the tools, all right? So as we know, technology actually they're very fast. So there's always new things to learn. There's so many rooms to actually learn new things when it comes to technology. So when it comes to the software, the tools that I'm using, there's a lot of new updates that is coming in every single month, right? So mastering these kind of tools, these kind of features in these platforms. For example, I use Adobe Creative Suite. So to master, these new tools or the new features in these updates, that is a challenge because myself, I'm a self-taught artist, so I had to actually keep, myself updated with whatever I'm doing with the platform that, is actually updated, right, in the recent times. So that is actually a challenge because I don't have tutors to actually teach me on what is going on. So it's all based on, experimental basis on how we're going to actually use these tools, right? So that is one, mastering the software tools. Apart from that, using this tool in the computer, also dealing with the technical glitches, that is another thing.
Okay.
So suddenly the computer might just get hang, the because of the the resolution that I'm working with, because I'll be creating a lot of high resolution artwork.
Because you're working with pixels, right?
Yeah, pixels. So it's going to take up a lot of memories or like that. So it's definitely there's definitely hardware failure at a point where we actually create an art. So that is another challenge, right? To make sure that everything is there. If in case anything goes down, for example, my computer goes down, it just turn off by sudden. So or the software got hang. So you should actually have a backup on what you're supposed to do. So that's a challenge. So at times we don't actually save often. When I'm working on an art, for 2 hours or 3 hours. So actually, sometimes when things goes down, I wouldn't actually have saved that work. Because we won't actually save the work.
Tell me about it. Yes.
So that's But because of the technologies, thanks to the developers, they have this recovery method. When things goes wrong and we launch back the application, we are able to actually recover some. But some of the latest touches, the latest work that I've just recently did, it won't be there. So it's going to be a redo thing. I have to actually recreate back. Just imagine you're redrawing the same thing again.
Yeah.
It's not going to be the same as the earlier one.
Yes.
So
yes.
that is a challenge.
So Areesh, you spoke about all these challenges, but you never frowned. You never witched. For you, it was just nothing but a day's in the work. Simply part of what you do, right? And the reason why we, in every line of thing that we do, we still go ahead and move on in life despite of all the challenges, it's because we find the things that we love to do rewarding. So why is this rewarding to you,
Areesh? Okay, so first of all, it's my passion, all right? I love creating art. And second, when in the recent times where I'm actually creating portraits, family portraits, right? Creating memories for a family. So that gives me a happiness, right? Because a lot of my clients who actually came up to me to create this kind of portraits, to create memories for them, they really get emotional. They really get emotional because they do not actually have maybe a picture with their deceased grandmother or grandparents, and that I create this kind of realistic art, and it actually really it's something really emotional for them. So looking at that at that moment, right, and looking at they getting happy and they actually cry, they actually get really emotional about it. That makes me actually do more. That makes me to create more art that is realistic, that is going to actually create memories for them for their life. So yeah.
So Areesh, see, very nice. You alluded to social media, which is very much pertinent to my next question. Social media, online platforms, these platforms out there has helped to bring out to the public the awareness of lots of other similar artists like you. Okay. Now, how is it that you use these platforms to connect with your audience?
Okay, I typically use the social media platforms like Instagram and TikTok to showcase my work, to connect with my audience and gather feedbacks mainly. So audience feedback plays a crucial role in refining the art that I'm doing and understanding what exactly the viewers would love to see. So creating this kind of family portraits, and I do also some kind of photo manipulation, right? So a fantasy kind of work. So all these kind of things, it captivates the viewer's attention. So I usually just post my works in social media to just get feedbacks and see how it reacts organically in social media. So this is how actually I publish my work. So apart from having a website or having a physical office, but I always rely on social media platforms when it comes to my work.
Right. Yeah. Areesh, now Anil on the mic is going to play devil's advocate a little bit. I'm going to ask you a question that is pretty much spoken about by a lot of the naysayers out there. A lot of people out there are saying that, hey, you know what, digital artists, what they're doing is not of a big deal because artificial intelligence is able to develop the same kind of art as well, or perhaps maybe even better. What is your answer to them, Areesh?
Okay, so you're asking me what is the difference between a traditional art and digital art?
Well, my question really is that people think that, digital artists are not, they're not doing anything special because what they're doing can also be generated by AI. So why give them the attention when you have an artificial intelligent tool that's able to gather these data, given a set of instructions to do certain things, it can develop and generate the same quality of images or perhaps even better. But what is your message to them?
Okay, so I'm definitely, because I myself come from a traditional artist background, right? So I do acrylic paintings. I do a lot of paintings before this I've done before digital world. I've actually done in the traditional world. So the difference is, it doesn't make less. A lot of people having this misconception that digital art is less authentic, comparing to traditional forms painting, right? But the rewards that lie in this platform, it's limitless, right? You can do quick revisions, like I mentioned earlier. If something goes wrong, you can actually revise back on what needs to be done. There's Control Z, as you mentioned earlier, right? So these kind of things, and the ability to reach a global audience is much more easier with digital. You can upload your artwork in the most highest resolution form with just few clicks, right? But with traditional painting, right, if it's going to be a big painting, it's going to be it doesn't matter. You won't be able to just take a picture and scan. It's not going to be in the most highest resolution, right? So there is a difference when it comes to traditional art and digital art. But digital art, a lot of people are actually thinking, okay, digital art is much more easier. But it's not really easy. Yes, you have the help of AI to actually, generate certain things, but to create exactly what you would like to create, AI is not going to help you with that.
Right.
AI is going to give you a reference, just a guidance. That's it.
Okay, I think you hit the nail really well right there. Is that AI is not able to give you the intricacies that a human digital artist is able to provide. It's
Correct.
like I can only speak to Areesh Morgan and tell him that my grandfather has a very peculiar frown, and this is how the frown is, and I want you to replicate that exactly. I probably will not be able to communicate that to an artificial intelligent engine,
Exactly.
right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Spot on. Now let's talk about a moment where you went viral with Nama Annatha Vijay Sethupathi. Talk to us about Vijay. By the way, Vijay Sethupathi, for the benefit of our listeners, is a very popular Tamil actor. He has been ruling the screens for a long time with all of his great movies. And that was a moment where Areesh sort of went viral after creating something about him. But I'll let him talk about it. Tell us about that, Areesh.
So it was a thrilling experience that that exposed my art to a massive audience. It actually opened up a whole new opportunities and gave me a sense of a fulfillment as an artist, right? So I do actually get messages from India, from a lot of Indians all over the world, that actually stays in Canada, UK. A lot of people actually, they're pretty much impressed with my work, and they would like to have the same for them, right? So it is how to say it's really a fulfillment for me as an artist. So there is a story for when I did this kind of thing, this art for Vijay Sethupathi. So it's an art of creating him together with his dad, all right? So there is no picture of his dad in Google. You won't be able to find a picture of him in Google. So I did some research that he really misses his dad. So what I did was I did some research on trying to see where to get the picture of his father, right? So I do not know anyone related to Vijay Sethupathi, because Vijay Sethupathi is a star, right? So how did I manage to find his father is through my research. I managed to find that he resembles his father in one of his movies. It's called Orange Mutai. Orange. So this movie. So in this movie, he plays a role resembling his deceased father, his lost father. So I went and watched this movie, and I found a black and white photograph of his father in that movie, in that movie clip. I took that black and white picture, I redraw that into color, painted together with him as though it's like a proper studio photo shoot picture. And till the very moment I'm going to pass this to Vijay Sethupathi, I was in doubt whether if this is his real dad. So I'm just actually I was just thinking, what is going to be his reaction? What if he says that, who's this guy?
Right, right, okay.
It's a misconception that is this is real dad. Until the very end, I brought and showed it to him, and he really got surprised. He got shocked, and he was like, "Wow!" And then I was like, "Okay, a little relief. Okay, that is his father." So I was like, "Okay, that was that moment. Actually, I got a peace of mind that okay, I did the right thing." And then all these works that all these artworks that I did for him at that particular time actually, it's fruitful, yeah.
Great. I think you deserve lots of taps on your shoulder for doing such a great thing. You capitalized an opportunity right there and you gained his attention. Great. Now, I'm sure you have a lot of advice for the many young, passionate people out there who want to follow your footsteps. But I want you to hold that thought. Let's go in for a quick break. And when we come back, Areesh, we'll resume and wrap up our conversation today. Okay?
Sure.
Every Tuesday,
We have this segment Spectrum.
That's how
on
esports
Track.
really.
Yes, we want people to be exposed to what the current labor market situation is.
I will talk about things that you normally don't hear strangers talk about.
catch Spectrum on TRAXXfm, looking into matters relating to youth, arts, and culture. Stay tuned.
Welcome back to Spectrum on Tracks Momentum. I've been having a very enlightening conversation with the creative artistry of Areesh Morgan, and we're speaking about taking a look into digital art. Now, Areesh, like I mentioned before the break, there are many young, passionate people out there who want to do what you're doing, and you made it sound really easy. Well, it's easy, and at the same time not easy to embark on this journey because it needs a lot of hard work, lots of preparation, lots of skills need to be acquired. And you need to have the right mindset as well. Now, what's your advice to the many young ones out there who want to walk in your footsteps, walk your path, so to speak?
Okay, so to young digital artists, or to whoever the young generations, I would advise cultivating a strong work ethic. You should have a strong work ethic. You should have the mindset of to learn continuously on whatever you're doing. All right, it can be a traditional art form, or it can be a digital art form. So you should have the mindset to learn continuously and experiment with different styles and techniques. Keep on do that. Keep on practicing that. Even though if you actually have a working or you're studying, right? You're studying for example, for myself, I was a electronic engineer. I was doing electronic engineering. There's none of that is related to art, right? But I do take up like 1 hour, 2 hours. I love art, so I take up my time 1, 2 hours, 3 hours creating some art, try to actually practice these tools, and I learn continuously. So I would actually want youth to, if they are really passionate about art, if they're really passionate about digital art, especially, you should just continue to practice the tools, the tools like Adobe Photoshop or Procreate, these types of tools, to continuously be updated with the features that they're actually releasing, right? That is one, and you have to actually keep on experiment and practice, creating new styles of art using a different technique. For example, you're going to create a picture of yourself. You might actually start with the eyes, right? You might start the artwork fitting with your eyes, but the next thing, the next day, you maybe can actually start to create it starting from the hair, different styles, different techniques, different kind of practice is going to actually master you the entire process, right? And an important thing in Malaysia, especially, I'm coming from an Indian community. A lot of us actually, from young, right? My parents, when I told that I want to be an artist, I love doing art, so I just want to be an artist. They wouldn't actually, welcome me in that thought. They thought that okay, getting yourself qualified as a proper engineer or proper, you try to go and get a noble job, something like that, for your profession, because it's not going to actually, give you anything in return. Artist is not really, it's a very selective, a lot of parents are not actually, they are not actually, motivating their kids that they do.
They're not supportive of such endeavors, especially when it's probably not along the lines of, the STEM subjects, science, technology, engineering, mathematics, and, the artistic fields. But I think you mentioned something that's really good that I think the young ones can take away, which is practice. Practice. And in the famous words of a motivational speaker, Les Brown, he always said, practice doesn't make it perfect, but practice makes improvement. And I think it's the practice that you put in is which has made some of the mortal people that we all know immortal in your art form. So, Areesh Morgan, thank you so much for joining us on this very interesting discussion. I know you're still in the Deepavali mode, but you set aside the last 30 minutes speaking to us. Thank you very much. I'm going to give you one last opportunity to speak to our listeners in just less than 30 seconds. Areesh Morgan, what is the impact that you want to leave with your art form? 30 seconds from now. Take it away.
All right. So I will just mention that, digital art has a potential to shape culture, by capturing contemporary themes, emotions, societal changes. So through my work, I hope, I can actually contribute to more conversations, with people, highlighting the importance of relationships and memories. I'm actually creating a lot of portraits, family portraits of the lost ones together with the ones that they actually have at the moment. But I would say, try to actually take as much pictures as you can with your loved ones before you actually lose them. So that is the message that I would like to actually give to the community over there, because I'm doing a lot of work related to that with the current moment. So
okay. Areesh Morgan, thank you so much for spending your time. Once again, on behalf of me and everyone else here at TRAXXfm, wishing you and your family happy Deepavali. Have a good one, man.
Thank you so much, guys. Thank you so much, and I hope you guys have a blessed day ahead.
Thank you very much. You have a great day, Areesh. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.
All right, and I just wrapped up a very interesting conversation with Areesh Morgan, a digital artist. And for those of you who missed out on the conversation, well, worry not. You can always head back onto our Facebook page at TRAXXfm Official and replay the entire conversation there. And turning my attention to the clock right now, it says it's 52 minutes into the second hour, which means in about 8 minutes, we'll be checking in with our friends at the RTM News Center for the 12 o'clock news updates, and then right after that, Anil on the mic. We'll be back for another brand new hour of Trax Momentum. But for now, here's Accidentally in Love by Counting Crows.
You're listening to TRAXXfm's podcast. If you've enjoyed our content, more podcasts are available on the RTM Click app and website. Let us know what you think. Please email us at traxxfm.rtm@gmail.com. Like and follow us on social media at TRAXXfm Official.